Hi, Leah Marie here with Infinity Marketing Architect, and welcome to Module 4 of the Affiliate Accelerator mission. So in this module, we're going to really be diving into the concept of leadership and being an expert in your field, really leading the field in your industry or niche. So what that's all going to be about is we're going to talk a bit about positioning, how to position yourself as such in your industry, as well as content. And what I mean by content is literally the nuts and bolts of, we all know, like, the leaders out there, the experts out there are always providing something of value. And where do they come up with these ideas? So what we're going to talk about today is really kind of digging into how do you develop content? Where do you find the ideas for it? For the creators out there, that's usually fairly easy. There's tons of ideas, that dynamo energy. But for those of us more on the steel side or even the tempo side, we can struggle with that. So I'll give you some real strategies on how to come up with content, and in the end actually use that content to develop an entire product line. But before we really dive into today and how to position yourself as an expert, I actually want to go back a little bit and take a look at what we've covered so far. And the reason I want to do that is because there were key action steps requested at the end of every single module so far, and right now we're right at kind of that turning point of making sure that you've already done the action steps that we've already put in place. You'll see at the end of this module, it's actually going to get a little more intensive in the implementation side, where, like I said, we're at that cusp kind of thing of taking just what we're learning and keeping it kind of at concept level, things for you to think about, versus now really honing into, okay, here's what you need to do. And the reason too I want to go back and kind of look at these action steps that we had covered so far. These are kind of that foundation, right? I talk about having that foundation, that strong, solid foundation in place. This is part of it. From now on, starting with today's training, we're going to be really building off of what we've been doing so far. So especially last module, when we talked about target market research, that is going to now permeate through the entire rest of the modules. You've got to have that in place. So I do urge you to go back, make sure you finish these action steps that we set before then building on to the next one. This is also what's going to, kind of make or break the people who stay at that learning stage, that concept, they're kind of that getting ready to be ready, getting started, and don't seem to get a lot of traction. And generally the reason for that is there's no action. There's no really strong implementation. They're very busy, and we talk about, working on your busyness versus business. And this is kind of going to make or break it right now of whether you're going to keep learning about these concepts or be able to incorporate them and really move forward with them. This process that I'm showing every one of you, starting from module 1 right until the very end, this is exactly what I followed myself. It's what I continue to follow with every new product launch, business branch that I build, everything like that, as well as what I do with my clients. And it works every single time going through this. It is what took me from having that baby colic business, you've heard about in other videos that I've done, where I was really struggling, versus now being able to literally pulling in 6 figures every single year, no problem with it whatsoever, having fun doing it, being in flow, all that good fun stuff. But it's these exact steps. This is that how. This is that steel energy that so many can kind of fall apart on or really struggle with, of the step-by-step actions to follow. So going back to module 1 is where we really talked about systems and structure, and we talked about taking an inventory to find out where you're at. We can't help you get somewhere if we don't know where you're at right away. Now in that module, I gave you a link to a workflowy document that you can start sketching everything out of your inventory. Feel free to use that, but you don't have to. If you've got a different system in place, go for it. That's fine. That module is more for you. That inventory is for you to take a look at, to be able to identify where are some of the holes. Now I do urge you, be very, very specific when taking that inventory. I've been looking in the workflowy document. I see many of you taking the mission are in there. You're writing this stuff down, which is fantastic. But saying, yes, I have a Facebook page with some likes. How many likes? If you are using your Facebook profile instead, and when we get to the Facebook module, I'll tell you why you shouldn't be doing that. But if you are right now, that's totally okay. How many friends do you have? How many connections on LinkedIn? How many views on your YouTube channel? How many subscribers? How many followers on Twitter? Things like that. And I also urge you include the links to all of your social media. That way, as you're building landing pages, doing different things and building out your systems, and if you want to integrate or connect your social media to it, it works really, really easy. If you've got kind of that central hub of your info that you can just go there and grab those links quickly instead of always looking them up through the different social media platforms. So include your links, include the exact stats that you have available and know what they are. It just makes it that much more clear for you and for us as well when we take a look to know what we can maybe support you in more as well. Now also, in Module 1, we talked about systems and the different options depending on what type of affiliate marketing you want to be doing, and you had a decision to make. That was one of the tasks. So did you make that decision on whether you're going to use your own systems, like your own website, building your own landing pages, or if you're going to use an affiliate microsite that may be available to you depending on the affiliate program that you're in? So you want to really take a look at that, make that decision, and be clear of what systems that you already have at your fingertips with your affiliate marketing program that you're a part of, as well as your inventory of what you already have in place if you want to build that out even more. Now, based on that decision, did you go ahead in Module 1 and do the homework of building that landing page, or really fine-tuning your affiliate microsite and personalize it and build that landing page in there as well? So, those were the key action steps to Module 1. That sets that foundation of where are you at, and the decision on what style of affiliate marketing you're going to be doing. Then we moved into Module 2, and we really dug into goal setting and branding. Now so in the first one we talked about where you're at. Module 2, we started to look at where do you want to go, because if we know point A and we know point B, we can give you some good strategies to get there. But if one of those points are missing, it's really hard to give a very specific strategy that we know is going to work for you, instead of just dealing in hypothetical. And we don't want to deal in hypothetical. We want to make sure we're giving you the literal key strategies that's going to take you from that point A to that point B. So Module 2 is all about figuring out that point B of where you want to go. So did you do the homework with that? Did you do your future vision exercise to help you figure out what your goals are for the next, 3 months, 6 months, year, and further down the line? Did you also do that mind dump that we talked about, that getting all that jumble, getting all those ideas that are in your head, all this learning you're doing even here, and start getting it out, getting it onto paper for you or sticky notes, and be able to start organizing that into what are the actions you need to take, what are some projects, what are the overall goals with them, and start attaching some timelines to those. So did you do that mind dump? Also, did you identify your triad of brands? That was another one of the action steps we talked about in Module 2, of being very clear on what your branding is, your personal, your business, and your product branding, and not get confused over what is the affiliate program's branding and what is really your branding. So that's something else to make sure you've really taken a look at and you're starting to hone down into it. Module 3, we went through target market research. So the key action step out of that was, did you do the work? Did you do the research to really identify what is the industry you want to be in, the niche that you're going to be going after, who's looking for your type of affiliate product already, knowing how you want to adapt maybe that affiliate program and what kind of market you want to go after. We showed you free platforms that you can be using to do that research. So that's where we're at, is did you do that research? So make sure you do these action steps. Like I said, it's going to be taking what we've done so far and now really building off of it. Today, when we're talking about positioning, we're going to be talking about generating content. If you haven't done your market research yet, then you may end up stumbling a little bit in trying to go ahead and start generating content when you don't know who the content is for yet. So that's why we've got this in the sequence that we do. It starts to build off of each other, and I really want to make sure that you've got that solid foundation in place. You're taking the action steps, so now as we move forward, everything is starting to build. And some of what we're going to cover, you're going to end up going back to some of these systems you're putting in place and even the research and tweaking, which is fantastic. But it's so much easier to just tweak something than to have to start right from scratch because you didn't do it in the first place. So that was just the quick recap of where we're at, what we've covered so far, and now where we want to be going from here in this training module, some key objectives that we want to talk about. I want to have a bit of a discussion between leadership and experts in your industry. Again, if you don't know your industry, as you start to brainstorm and start thinking of how to apply what I'm going to be going through today, you might stumble on that a bit. So make sure you go back, know who your industry is, know who your market is. We're going to go over how to position yourself in the industry. So not just that concept of make sure you get positioned in the industry, but how do you do that? I'm going to teach you how. We're also going to talk about how to generate content. And again, what I mean by content is, we talked in Module 1 with the systems of, if you're going to have a blog or a microsite, you need stuff on it. Even as an affiliate marketer and you're selling someone else's products, the really key way of doing it, so it's not just the person, hoping to make tons of money and doing it without, doing anything to really promote. It's that versus those that understand affiliate marketing and really do see the potential and how much you can earn with it, but also the work you need to put into it to make that happen. And in doing that, that's all about content. We've talked about that already, about having the conversations with the right people. But again, conversations are content. You need something to talk about. So what is it that you're going to talk about? I'm going to teach you how to generate content so you always have something to say. Whether you're going to choose to be blogging, maybe it's podcasts, maybe it's videos, maybe it's just ebooks you want to be doing, or whatever medium you choose to use with it. I'm going to show you ways to make sure that you're always coming up with the ideas of what to generate content on. And it doesn't matter if you're a creator or not, of the wealth profile or anything like that. Every single one of us, this applies to all of us, of where we can find the different ideas, because I'm going to give you a list for it. Also, I'm going to teach you how to organize that content and into an actual product line. So again, I've done this again and again. I've done it from the very beginning. I'm doing it again for a new branch of my business, where I'm able to take exactly what I'm going to teach you here in this module and apply it to all of a sudden end up with 4 different products. And that's a powerful place to be in. So I know, this is the Affiliate Accelerator mission, right? I'm teaching you how to promote someone else's products. But in doing this, I'm also going to teach you how to develop your own product line to really supplement the affiliate products that you are selling. And again, lay some groundwork that if you do choose to branch out on your own down the road, you can. And back in a previous module, I did talk about how your affiliate program really should become something where it's a recommended resource. Whatever the product or service is, it should be your recommended resource or tool that you're promoting to people. It shouldn't be your exact product. Remember the triad of brands, where we're teaching here that you are not that product and you're not invisible. It's not all about the person who developed that affiliate program or product and the product itself. You've got to get in there too. So that's what this is going to be about, is then creating those additional product lines that can supplement and end up making you more money than just what you would be doing with the affiliate program itself. So let's dig into the concept of leaders and experts. We seem to really put leaders on a pedestal and experts on a pedestal. We always think, like they're up there kind of thing a little bit. And in a way, and that's human nature, and that part of it is totally fine. But when I started brainstorming, and I put them on the side here of just what are some traits of a really strong leader. And in looking at all of these, and this is not an exhaustive list by any means, but these are all things that every single one of us can do. None of it is so outside the box that they had to be born a certain way or be given certain opportunities or that type of thing to end up becoming a leader. We all started the exact same way. Yes, I realize born into different families and, different privileges and opportunities that can come with that. But there are so many leaders out there that came from nothing. And there's so many out there that came from something and came from, the idea of the gold spoon in their mouth or whatever. But if you look at the leaders that we follow, on the internet or anywhere, there is such a wide range of who they are. But what are the commonalities that they have? And like I said, not an exhaustive list whatsoever, but they're on the slide there for you to really take a look at. And there's a few that I kind of want to bring to your awareness to show just how really achievable this is to start, even for yourself, acting like that leader. Because each and every one of us, we are leaders. We are leaders to somebody. A leader is somebody that we look up to, right? Well, there's somebody in your life that is looking up to you. And why are they looking up to you? So it's digging into that a little bit about some of the traits that are positioning you as a leader. Back a few years ago now, if somebody would have said, you're going to be a real leader and an expert in the affiliate marketing industry, I would have laughed and thought, I'm not a leader, I'm a farm kid from Saskatchewan. Well, it turns out that, of course, I am a leader. I am an expert in this industry, and I'm going to show you how to position yourself the same way, because this is how I then was able to establish myself as such. But a few key traits that I want to point out that are on this slide, some of the ones that people will pinpoint and go, no, that's only certain people can do that. Communication skills is one of them, and I want to pause on that for a moment to go through that just for a moment with you. Some people, yes, you can consider that they have stronger communication skills than someone else. Some people are more outgoing than others. Some people are more introverted or extroverted. But at the core of it, every single one of us has exceptional communication skills. And here's an example that I want to give you is I have a nephew that's on the autism spectrum. He has Asperger's. And so that is something where he's considered, low social skills, has a hard time communicating with people, things like that. However, he loves cars and trucks. Absolutely loves them. Ever since a very, very young age, and even though he's only 15 right now, he can tear apart an engine and rebuild it, make it better than it was before. Just absolutely phenomenal what he can do. And if you get talking to him about that, he has no problem whatsoever in communicating with you on that, because it is something he loves and is passionate about. Every single one of us are the exact same when it comes to something like that with communication skills. Some of us, yes, we can be a little stronger in communication kind of regardless of topic, but if we are discussing something that we really, really enjoy, that we are very, very passionate about, we can talk about it and talk about it with confidence and strength, no matter whether we're introverted or not. I'm actually extremely introverted. I'm a very shy person, I'm very private. However, I can absolutely do this type of training, and I can do public speaking and all of that kind of thing when I'm talking about these type of topics, the ones that I love to share, the ones that I know very, very well like the back of my hand. All of us are the exact same way in that. So keep that in mind when it comes to communication skills. Don't right away go, no, I'm not very good at communicating, I'm shy. I'm going to call total BS on that, because if you're talking about the right topic, you have superb communication skills. Another one that I want to point out a little bit, because this is going to be from the business standpoint, and to me it's like that idea of authenticity, integrity, honesty, traits like that. So we've already talked about the concept of sales, right? When you're being very, very salesy versus, now this was from module 3, go back to it if you need to, and talking about how marketing is not about sales. Marketing is about conversations, having the right conversations with the right people. Leaders are someone that you don't feel like you're being pitched to all the time, right? You don't feel like they're pushing the sale, just trying to do whatever they can to make you buy whatever it is, right? So that is another trait of leaders, and that's something, I want you to kind of like reshift focus on a little bit, is making sure it's not about that bottom dollar and not about, I need to make some sales, versus I need to help some people. Be that problem-based or solution-based, not problem-based, solution-based, because again, from module 3, we talked about how you're identifying the people that have this big problem, and what you have to offer is the solution. When you approach it from that standpoint, sales end up happening, and they end up happening very easily, but you're coming from a whole different angle to it instead of just sales. Instead of, I need to make $1,000 this month, or I need to make $10,000 this month. Don't look at it like that. Look at it about the help, the support that you can provide someone else, the solutions you can provide to solve other people's problems. And in the end, that'll solve your problem of money. Because you will make more sales with that. And that's a general theme we're doing right throughout this mission, is how you can change that viewpoint from all about the sales into providing more of the value. And a way to provide value is through content. And I'm going to get to that in a moment. So we talked a little bit about leadership already, but what about the concept of experts? So when I wrote out that slide about leaders, and I thought, okay, well, what makes an expert, and realized it's actually a very, very small thing. An expert is someone who knows a little bit more than we do. We take advice from someone who knows more than we do on that topic, or else we wouldn't need their advice. Now, what is really, really interesting about this is it doesn't need to be this much extra knowledge that they have. It can be this much. They just know that little bit more. I think back to when I first got started building websites, and it's something that back at the beginning, would I have considered myself an expert on it? Absolutely not. I did not go to school or university or get any diplomas that had anything to do with building websites. I'm not a web programmer. I'm not a web designer in the respect of knowing Photoshop and taking all those type of courses. I taught myself. But what ended up happening is I was struggling in that baby colic business, trying to figure out how do I build my own website, all of that. And all of a sudden I got it. I started to learn, I started to get it, and I was taking the action on how to do that with my own website. So all of a sudden I knew that little bit more than the people that I was with who were also trying to establish their own websites and build their own business. So then I could go over to them and go, okay, I see you're struggling with that. Here's how I can help. And I started solving their problems. I started setting up their websites for them, showing them how to build pages, showing them how to integrate an autoresponder. All those little steps that I knew just that little bit more than they did. But as I kept doing it and as I kept learning, my knowledge grew more and more and more. And that's when I was able to go from struggling myself in how to do it to learning how to do it for myself and then helping others do what I had figured out. So from there, over the last few years, I've built a business literally from nothing. I had no business, no education on building websites. And now I have a very well-established business doing exactly that. And this is how I did it, was having that knowledge that I did become because I was the expert in doing that. I knew that much more than who I was trying to help. That's all an expert really is. And that's what each and every one of you can do as well, is that idea of there is something you know this much more than somebody else, including me. Now, you can even look at it about the type of knowledge that you already have. You're now on module 4 of this. You've learned a lot about affiliate marketing and even building a business. That's something you can go share because this is information a lot of people don't have. You now have it. You are that much more of an expert than other people that could be in the exact same industry you are in. So I'm hoping that's getting your thoughts going a little bit about the concept of establishing yourself as a leader, establishing yourself as an expert, because it is absolutely so doable in being able to do that. It's not something hugely unattainable whatsoever. And the end game with this, of why you want to do this, is you want to be known as the go-to person in your industry or niche. So again, if you haven't done module 3 and you don't know your industry or your niche, make sure you go back and do that, because your end game with this is you want to be known as the go-to person in that industry. And I put a quote on the slide here that this is something that Roger Hamilton sent out to his entire database. It was for launching this Affiliate Accelerator mission through GeniusU, where he states right in it, that in joining you're going to get full support from the Affiliate Accelerator team, including Leah Marie, our affiliate marketer expert who leads the mission. I am known now in that community as the affiliate marketer expert because I know that much more than some of the people here, right? Or at least on different topics, right? So that's the end game. Now, what's also on here is, on the slide there, I've got 3 words: action, traction, and attraction. Now, if you've seen some videos of Roger, and he talks about this concept, and he maps it out as a bit of a tree. Now, I'm not even going to try to draw that onto the slide. I'm horrible with my mouse trying to draw. But if you picture the trunk of a tree, and we relate this into business, where the trunk of the tree, when you are in action, You are the one going out trying to drum up the business. You know, at a networking event, when I'm networking and I'm meeting someone and they're asking me what I do, and I say I design websites, and they're like, oh, well, I have a business, we need to really update our website, could you help us? And I'm saying, yeah, absolutely, you know, here's a quote, that type of thing. That is action. That is me in action, trying to close that deal, so to speak, to help that person with their website needs. When you start gaining traction in your business is when that trunk of a tree all of a sudden starts to branch. And maybe you've got 4 branches where that client I met at that networking event loved what I did with her website or his website, and starts talking to their friends about it or their network about it, and all of a sudden I have 4 new clients or 4 people coming to me saying, hey, you know, I was talking to Joe, they love so much what you did with their website, I'm in the same boat, I need some help, and they gave me your number, so here I am calling, and I can follow up with them. That's traction, right? Because I didn't have to market directly to that person. Joe did that for me. That's word of mouth. Okay? And that's when you're really gaining some traction in your business, is when you aren't having to go out and, you know, hustle or find those leads. Other people are finding the leads for you. That's word of mouth. Now, attraction happens when we're not at the trunk of the tree, we're not even on the branches, we're way out on the leaves where all the fruit is. That's true attraction. And what that is in a business sense is when it's not just you getting a client, so like me talking to Joe about their website, and then Joe talking to their network, it's that network talking to their network. So that's something where it's people that don't even know you are recommending you. That is true attraction in business, okay? That is the real end game for those that are leaders and experts in their industry, is when they have those type of people that are recommending them, and they aren't even clients. You know, and they've never met you, they've never worked with you, but they're recommending you as well because of your reputation. That is the absolute goal. That's kind of that end game that we want to be working towards. So when we talk about providing value, how do we provide the value? Well, it's through content. It's through messages that you want to share and information that you can provide, information that you can give. And now some of this, I am talking about free content that you're going to give to readers. However, you can also bundle this into products. I'm going to talk about that in this module as well. So the idea of, okay, you know, you need to start generating content, whether it's to fill a blog or all, you know, a YouTube channel or a Twitter account or different social media, there's still that idea of, okay, if marketing is a conversation, and that's what I want to do, is have conversations, not sales pitches, but in a conversation, what do I even talk about? This is where you can start getting some ideas of where to start generating content, where to come up with the ideas of what you should write about or talk about or blog about or whatever it is that you're going to be doing. The actual medium of what you're going to use, like video, podcasts, we're going to cover that in marketing modules, digging deeper into strategies. But before you even choose, you know, hey, I'm going to do videos, well, what are you going to do videos on? Right? Again, like I said, every module is building on itself now. So before we even discuss, you know, here's how to do video marketing, let's start thinking of some ideas you can even be doing videos on. So that's what this slide is all about here. And I've written a lot of things on this slide. Doesn't mean you have to do all of them. This is just, again, that brainstorming to help you get ideas so you honestly never run out of ideas of what you can start talking about. So there's things like the biggest problem. What is the biggest problem that your industry is facing? So that's from module 3, right? You did the research, you know your target market, you know the industry, you know the niche. You should know what their biggest problem is by now. So what is the problem that they are searching for a solution for? You can talk about that. You can talk about the problem itself, how much it sucks, you know, what it's done for you, and or what you went through with that, or something like that. You can also look at other blogs in the industry. What are they blogging about? What are some industry trends? What are industry news? What are just what's on the news itself? Especially in different geographical areas that you are targeting. Know what's happening in those areas that may be kind of front and center of what people are thinking of and talking about. What is your competition doing? You can talk about that. That's great content right there, is actually to talk about your competition. Are there any product launches coming out in your industry? Again, by competition, by yourself. Are you launching something? You can talk about that. Your mentor, now again, you're an affiliate marketer. what is what is the affiliate program you're a part of, what's happening with that company? Are they coming out with something new? You can review that. Reviews are huge, whether you choose to do book reviews, movie reviews, TED Talk reviews. I've got all of those on this slide here. You can do a review on that. And what that's actually going to do is two things. People love, like if we use TED Talks as an example right now, people are always searching in like Simon Sinek Start With Why. If that's in your niche or industry, the type of people that are interested in Simon Sinek and his book Start With Why and his TED Talks Start With Why. Or maybe it's The Secret, right? Maybe it's the book The Secret. If you do a review on that, say you're doing a review on Rhonda Byrne's The Secret, or you're doing a review on Simon Sinek Start With Why, just giving your opinion of it, there's two things that are happening. One, people are interested in that because they're searching for those type of things, right? Another thing that ends up happening is if you do this correctly, and I'm kind of jumping into some marketing stuff here, and I'll go over this in more detail in the marketing modules, but if you do that correctly, where you're actually targeting people looking for Simon Sinek or looking for your competitor, is you can end up with the traffic that your competitor has paid or really worked towards getting themselves. So that's actually super, super cool, is when you can get to that point where by your content, you are providing content they're looking for, even if they were looking to get that content from someone else. So that's huge. Look at what's happening in the industry. Who are the big players? Who are some of the key players? Talk about what they're doing. It's a matter of providing your opinion on it, having a bit of a spin on it of something that you would have added or maybe left out. You can do. In a moment, I'm going to share the 10-10-4 principle with you. That's something that I did not develop myself whatsoever. I totally give credit where credit is due on who did develop that. I'll share that with you in a moment. But I took the best pieces of it and then added my own flair to it for being able to kind of take it to that next level and adapt it to my industry and what is what my target market needs the most out of it. You can do the exact same thing with it. I'm going to share that in a moment. But some other examples of where you can find content to blog about or do videos about, a big one I use is magazines. And it's not even magazines in my niche or industry. I'm a web development company. We build websites, we do marketing training, affiliate training, obviously as well. I don't read those type of magazines. When I'm reading magazines, I love to read Reader's Digest, and I love to read health magazines, fitness magazines. And I always find a little quote or something in those magazines that I think, that was the perfect message I needed to hear today, or that made me think of such and such that's happening in my business, and I can write about it. I can draw that parallel and write about it. It's a whole nother blog topic for me, or a video topic. I've done blog posts even talking about how the perfect golf game is just like building the perfect business. So having that golf game, I was actually having a golf game with my dad, and we just got talking about it and running those parallels. It turned into an entire blog post series that I did and talking about how playing golf is just like building a business. So I didn't read a business magazine to have to do that. I had a fun round of golf with my dad. You can do the same thing. So it's drawing the parallels of different things that are happening even within your own life, your mentor stories, guru stories, your own stories. You can share all of that. That is all content. Okay? I hope that makes sense to everybody, and just even from this slide alone, which is not an exhaustive list, of course, that you have enough just off of this that you'll never run out of content to be talking about, because there's always new TED Talks, there's always new movies, new books, new magazines, new blogs that are coming out. There's always something going on that you can then blog about, video about, podcast about, however you want to deliver that content. It's all things that you can then provide. Okay, so let's talk about the 10-10-4 principle. The 10-10-4 is the basis of how you're going to start developing products out of what you're just going to be talking about anyways with your content. Now remember, with your content, the whole point of it is to provide value with the end game of course, building your business. You're affiliate marketers. You've got different products that you want to be promoting. Now again, I'm going to teach you how to build your own products, but you do have some affiliate products that you want to be making sales on. So if you are writing a bunch of content and you can then tie that into how product XYZ helps that or makes that happen or supports that or does that, That's how you're going to make sales through your content just all on its own. Now the 10-10-4 principle, this was developed by Mike Koenigs. He's based down in the United States. He's got tons of different Amazon bestsellers. And he taught this principle of the 10-10-4 with his company. I believe it's now called TPNI, Engage is the name of the company. It recently was sold. It was called Traffic Geyser and Instant Customer before that. So total credit is due to Mike on developing this principle. And what he teaches is how using the 10-10-4 always gets you content that you can then write about and how to blast that out. So the 10-10-4, his version of it is very, very simple. To come up with content, if you're wondering what you should be writing about, just jot down 10 FAQs, frequently asked questions. These are questions that in your industry, they get asked a lot. If you're already maybe a coach in your industry, there are questions that get asked to yourself a lot. If you're not a coach, that's totally fine. These can be FAQs that in your affiliate program, the mentor in that may be getting. Now, every single website, most websites out there have an FAQ section. Browse in your industry and find the best FAQs. Jot down 10 of them. Now the second 10 are 10 SAQs. Those are should ask questions. So those are the questions when I'm thinking of it, I think, what are the questions I wish my clients would ask? Or, I wish they'd asked at the beginning. Something like that. Now if you don't have clients, again, that's totally okay. Think about it from a personal aspect of, okay, when I got started, I wish I'd known that. Hindsight's 2020. That's the saying, at least it is here in Canada, is hindsight's 2020. And it's that concept of, I wish I knew then what I know now. What are some of those things? Jot them down and develop 10 should ask questions. What should you have asked, or what should your clients have asked, at the beginning? Or what should they be asking right now? Write those down. All I'm asking is for you guys to come up with 10 FAQs and 10 SAQs. That's not that hard. That's not that many. But in doing that right there, you've now got 20 pieces of content that you can either blog about, video about, do a podcast about, lots of different mediums you can share it, but you now have 20 pieces of content. Okay? Just in doing that. Now, Mike, what he teaches with the 4 are 4 different calls to action to put in your content. And now, you've always heard me say it again and again in my training, is make sure you always have a call to action in everything you're doing. Even if the call to action is as simple as like this post, share this post, retweet it, give me a thumbs up. Something like that, versus, you can invite them to keep looking on your blog, or to go sign up for this, or go download that. You can even ask for the sale. That's a call to action you can have. That's the 4. Mike has 4 different call to actions he strongly recommends in every content that you do. For me, what I do with the 4, with the 10-10-4 principle, is show how doing this exact idea of generating those frequently asked questions and those should ask questions turn into a framework for 4 different products that you can then have to be boosting your affiliate business or your absolute own business. And here's what they are. So you use your content to develop your opt-in offer. You can then develop an ebook, or maybe it's a template, your online course, or personal coaching. Those are 4 different products that just in doing this idea of coming up with this content, you now have the opportunity to develop all 4 of those types of products. Now here's an example. When I first started out, it was right when I was first starting out, I even met Mike Koenigs, and he talked about the 10-10-4. So I sat down and I started writing, what are some frequently asked questions in this industry of affiliate marketing? What are some should ask questions about affiliate marketing? And in writing those, I realized that there were 7 answers that if people knew those 7 things, then they would be successful as an affiliate marketer. So all I did was, it was a PDF. I chose PDF at that point because I was petrified at the thought of doing videos or doing webinars. So I just wrote a little ebook. I just jotted it down. It was 7 pages because I had 7 different answers, and just talked about how in affiliate marketing, if you knew these 7 key principles, you would be successful at affiliate marketing. Does that sound familiar? I hope so, because every single one of you came through something like that, where I talked about the 7 key principles to building an affiliate marketing business. That was my very first opt-in offer. Now, since the PDF, I have delivered it as a webinar. I've delivered it in different mediums since back then, but the core of it is still the same, is those 7 key principles. So I talked about what those principles are that every affiliate marketer needs to have in their business. That was my free opt-in offer. Then I developed it into an ebook and sold that ebook for $7 way back. I don't bother with that anymore. I go straight to the online course. Welcome to the online course. If you're watching this video, you are in the online course that all started from me jotting down 10 frequently asked questions and 10 should ask questions. And again, there's a theme of 7, so I developed an online course. The opt-in offer talked about the what those 7 principles were. Then in the online course is where I dig into now, this is how you actually implement those 7 principles. Here's how you do it. And then of course I have personal coaching, where if somebody either wants me to do it for them, wants me to do the target market research, great. Or else if they just want me to work more individually with them through each of those 7 principles, fantastic. I offer my personal coaching for that. That is entirely how I built my entire business, and that is exactly how you can do the exact same thing. So way back at the very, very beginning for myself, I did not have a whole line of products or anything like that. I was selling affiliate products. My opt-in offer pointed people, because again, I was in the tech industry, right? Building websites. And the 7 key things people needed, I made sure that, okay, you need hosting. It was my affiliate link in that PDF to make sure they purchased hosting through companies I was affiliated with. I've made tons of money in being an affiliate marketer, but I had my little opt-in offer first, talking about why you need these different things, those 7 principles. And then used my affiliate links as that recommended tool. So I established myself as the expert first, saying that you need to have these things and here's why, here's how to do it. Each step took them a little deeper into it. They had to pay a little more money each time, but I solved their problems at each step. Do you see how this is all starting to tie in together a little bit? And I really hope you're seeing just how easy it ends up being to establish your own product line for this. Now, another example I have for this exact thing is I'm doing this again right now. The new branch of the business, where the target market, so I did new target market research where I am promoting to offline business owners that either need to upgrade their internet presence or online presence, or they need one established for the very first time. That's the target market very much in a nutshell. Now, what I was able to do was go, okay, these type of offline businesses, what are some 10 frequently asked questions? What are 10 should ask questions? And from those, I looked at it and went, okay, there are 6 traps that businesses run into when they are wanting a website designed. So I've got a 6-page opt-in offer, Website 101, to help those business owners identify these are the 6 traps that can easily happen. Make sure you don't fall into those traps. It's free. Then I invite them, the call to action at the end of that opt-in offer, telling them all about those 6 traps, is a blueprint template that they can go onto my website to purchase and download. It's only going to be $7. I'm developing this right now. It's going to be about $7. They can go get this template, this blueprint that they can fill out to ensure that they will not fall into any of those 6 traps that I identified in the free opt-in offer. I'm not going to bother with an online course on that one. Instead of an online course, of course, I want them to purchase a web design package from my company. So I'm able to establish an entire product line just off of figuring out what those frequently asked questions and should ask questions are. Now, another thing you can do with these, if you have ever been interested in writing a book, an ebook or even a published book, try to generate 100 FAQs and SAQs. And in doing that, you now have 100 pieces of content that you can be posting anywhere, or better yet, compile together, and there's your book. That is exactly what Mike Keenings has done again and again and again, and become an Amazon bestseller in doing that. So again, got to give credit where credit is due. That's all Mike's idea. but that is something you can easily do in generating content for a book that you can then sell as well. So I hope that was really, really helpful in seeing how you can start bringing that content together and offering it as a solution in and of itself. And then of course your affiliate programs then become that recommended resource to back all of that up. So here's the action steps. Now, you're probably looking at this and going like, whoa, these are a lot more action steps than we've been doing so far in every module. And yeah, absolutely. This is where rubber hits the road now of it's time to really get moving with this. In this training, throughout the mission, the end of it, you're going to be running your very own promotion. You've got to have some stuff like this in place in order to do that and in order to do that successfully. So put the time in right now. The very first action step, outline your 10 FAQs and 10 SAQs. I know I have FAQs twice on the slide. One is FAQs, one is SAQs, sorry. So outline those. From those 20, you will then have, right, 10 FAQs, 10 SAQs. From those, I want you to identify 10 you really want to talk about. And shoot a minimum of 10 1 to 3 minute videos answering each of those questions, or record a podcast, or draft an ebook, or do all three if you want to. Do them as blog posts if you'd like to. If you do want to do all three, I strongly recommend do the video first. Most people look at that backwards and they think, hey, I'm going to write it out, then I can read it as an audio, and then I can maybe do a teleprompter thing or something and shoot a video reading what the blog post was. Don't do it that way. Just shoot the video. It's only a 1 to 3 minute video. You can stay on topic for 1 to 3 minutes, even if you're nervous doing a video. It's only one message. So do that video, because then it's very easy to edit. You can do it yourself, or you can go to Fiverr.com, get it done for very, very cheap, and they can remove the visual component of your video and have just the audio. There's your podcast. You can then again, through a virtual assistant or through Fiverr.com, again, have them transcribe your video. There's your blog post. So you then only have to do the work once. You shoot one video and you can get the audio and the written done for you, the transcript done for you, and you've got 3 pieces of content. So that's the second step. After you've outlined those questions, is do that. If you do that, you now have a minimum of 10 pieces of content. And if you did the videos, you actually now have 30 pieces of content, right? You've got 10 videos, 10 audios, and 10 blog posts. You can put those blog posts together for an ebook, so you actually have 31 pieces of content just by doing this. Can you see how quickly that can fill your YouTube channel, your blog? It starts to flesh out your website with actual content that's very valuable to people. Then what I want you to do, obviously, you've done these pieces of content, post them. So either use your own blog or your affiliate microsite if you've got access to one of those. You can do them on YouTube if you've done videos. In module, I believe it's 7, with video marketing, I'll show you a lot more of what you can do with those videos to really optimize them, but at least have them. Get them ready to go, get them recorded. So that's going to help you. You're now starting to actually develop content for people to be taking a look at. And the last thing that I want you to do is talk about the biggest problem. So in module 3, you should know this already, right? What the biggest problem your market is facing. What I want you to do is it would probably be more a 3 to 5 minute video discussing that problem. If you're not comfortable doing video yet, that's totally okay. Just do a little ebook or a brochure discussing that problem, of what that biggest problem is that your industry is facing, okay? Don't talk about your solution to it. Talk about the problem itself, okay? And the reason I'm asking you to do this at this stage is in the next module, we're going to do something with that video or that brochure, okay? So it's starting the ball rolling for you to get those different product lines in place and that content in place to establish yourself as a strong leader, as a strong expert in your niche and industry that you want to be marketing into with your affiliate products and programs, your different services. So it's building your own services that you can also be offering, as well as the affiliate service that you can be making commission on as well. So those are your actions. I know there's quite a few. There's quite a few more than we've been giving you so far, but like I said, now's the time to really get implementing. So make sure you do this before you move on to the next portion of the mission. Make sure you reach out to us on the Facebook group, the Genius U Mentor Circle, if you have any questions whatsoever. Let us know some feedback as well. We are very excited to have you on the mission with us, and I can't wait for Module 5, where we're going to be talking about engagement. And again, we're going to start using that content you're doing now and teaching you about engagement and starting to get some real leads and prospects going with what you're doing right now. So thanks for watching this video. Welcome again, once again, to Module 4 of the mission, and I am excited to get you moving on to Module 5 very soon. Thanks for watching.